Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today, I'm doing a back issue bonanza. I got a big old box of back issues, and I was holding it off until a night where I didn't have anybody scheduled, and tonight I didn't have anybody scheduled. So I figured I'd talk about back issues. Yes, I still buy comics, still buy Marvel comics, believe it or not. But what I do is I kind of buy them way after the fact. So hey, seer of all that is obvious. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. I see a couple of people already watching it. As always, I got to push my comic because that's what you do. Heroic Tales is still available. If you order it now, I box it up and I'll send it in the mail tomorrow. So I still got a bunch. I overprinted by a lot, so I still have some because I'm hoping that a good word of mouth will make it so that people pick it up when I do the campaign for issue 2. So there you go. Next order of business. Oh, that just made my glasses worse. Next order of business. This is I skipped. This is an open invite, meaning anybody who wants to talk about comics, just come on in. I made a New Year's resolution, a couple of New Year's resolutions. One of them was to continue working on comics. One of them was to lose, get a little bit more health conscious, nothing crazy. I had a doctor appointment today. She congratulating me on losing 11 pounds since my car accident. So there you go, which isn't that good because I lost 25 and then gained it back and then lost some again. So, but whatever, down 11 pounds since the day of my car accident. And a last resolution is I'm done with all the drama farming and talking about other people. You know what I mean? Like I just, if on Twitter I noticed there's like 2 guys that just want to pester me, I don't even engage them. If that gets your rocks off, that's good. That's good job for you. That's what you want to do. You want to make snappy comments to a guy that doesn't give you the time of day. That's an excellent use of your time. Good for you. So there you go. So this is I kind of have 3 of these similar shows. I have a What You're Reading, and that's where I talk about what I read since the last time I did a What You're Reading. So that so you might see a couple of these comics twice or so. When I get them, and then once I read them. And then What You Read is like the closest I'll do to like reviews for bad comics. I just comment. But again, everybody's welcome to join. Hey, Pete, how's it going? How's it going? You don't have any wildfires by you. You're in Arizona. You're close to Science City. Matt Watt, how you doing? How's everybody? What's going on? So again, I have a What You're Reading, and that's where I talk about the comics that I've read since the last time I did a What You're Reading. I did one what was it, Tuesday? I did a long one. And then Backissue Bonanza is just buying new to me older comics. And then Monthly Visitor is the actual new comics that I get, that are brand new off the stand. I actually have a box of my new comics. I'm going to save that to for another day that I don't have anybody scheduled. Might move to Science City. It's near Yuma, Arizona. It's near Yuma. It's down there in that triangle because of the pretty much the origin of Science City is I lived in Albuquerque for 7 years, and I was driving to San Diego back and forth to visit a friend of mine who still lives in San Diego. One of my childhood friends, and every once in a while I'll drive out there to visit him. And going through Arizona, I was just like, look at all this space and sunlight, and then I read someplace that like solar panels, if they did like 10 square miles of solar panels, they could power a state or a city. I forget the actual number. And then like the local people like, yeah, it's Leela and stuff. And it always struck me like this would be a perfect place for a superhero city. So there's the origin of Science City. It's half magic, half science, but nobody believes in magic. So anyway, these are new to me old back issues. So my comic book database went tits up, and I've been rescanning them, and I kind of stopped in July because of the car accident. I think I'm up to box 56. And my wife was watching. God bless her. She's doing the right thing. I wasn't allowed to move anything because of my neck injury. For those of you who don't know, I broke my neck. I literally broke my neck, and I had to do nothing. So for 4 months, I did nothing, and I've got extremely lazy because of that. I mean, all I could really do is read comics and write scripts. I couldn't move anything heavy. So my back room is, I'm not even going to show it. It's just filled with comics and board games. And, it's just a mess. So this Saturday, I'm not working any overtime, I don't think. And it's going to snow. So I got nothing better to do than to finally clean this back room. What does that have to do with anything? I don't know. But anyway, I've been rescanning my comics. I've been finding comics that I'm missing. So that's what the Backissue Bonanza is doing. Comics that catch my eye and comics to fill the gap. So without further ado, let's look at this pile of nonsense. So this is Elektra #1, the 4th series. This is 2017. I don't know who these creators are. Forgive me for my nose. I've been just fighting a cold for like 2 weeks. So I don't know if this is good. I don't even know who these people are. Owens, Cabell, Fabella. I don't know if it's good, bad, ugly, but so I quit Marvel in 2015. So this is literally after, this is probably what, like the height of identity politics Marvel. So let's see. Oh, wow. Madhouse 96 by Red Circle Comics. I bought this just because I fell in love with this cover. What a great cover. Somebody posted it on Twitter and I just picked it up. Like, this is the only issue of Madhouse that I have, but this is Gray Morrow. I love Gray Morrow's art, but look at that cover. That is just outstanding. Perfect example of a cover selling a comic book. Look at that. This better not like awaken another need, because this is obviously about 100 issues. Okay, here's Elektra #2. Looks like she's fighting Arcade over here. Okay. Again, I know nothing about this series. Spidey Super Stories 27. I collected these as a kid. For those of you who don't know, this is the Elektra Company. Underneath the sticker, it says the Elektra Company. The Elektra Company licensed out Spider-Man, and they made Elektra Company would appear. Spider-Man would appear on the Elektra Company, and like they would do reading segments. He would talk and a word balloon would pop up, and it was like to help little kids, like we're talking little kids, learn to read. And then they made a comic based on his appearances, Spidey Super Stories, and I hated them. I absolutely hated them. It's funny, Pete's here because I was friends with Pete's wife in grammar school. I remember vividly sitting in a library with Allison, Pete's wife, reading a Spidey Super Story, and then she sat down at the table and I got embarrassed. Not because it was a comic book, but because it was like a children's comic book. So I remember that vividly. But I collected it because I was a crazy person, still am a crazy person, and I had to get everything Marvel that I could get my hands on. And they all disappeared. A box of comics just disappeared, and so somebody stole my Spidey Super Stories or misplaced. I don't know how you'd misplace a box of comics. Scout. So I'm finishing up my Tim Truman Scout run. It's pretty good. I just get a kick out of like when it's 1985 and they set comics in 2020, what they think the future is going to look like. But well, I mean, it's political infighting. Factions are fighting, so how far off are we? Atari Force, again, a comic that I avoided this comic like the plague. It was Aaron Lopresti and Graham Nolan. They drew characters from Atari Force one night, and everybody talked about how good the comic was. So I was like, I'll give it a try. And like the Micronauts over at Marvel, it's a lot better than it had any right to be. It's based on the Atari console, so not even a particular game. And they just use the name. Like, if anybody read this, if they're familiar with this, and they could explain it to me, if it ties into any actual Atari games, I would be really curious, because it's just a space opera. Hey, Oscar, how you doing? Oscar just sent me a colored page today. Did you get your pay, Oscar? Mary Sue is almost done. And also, just a reminder, and Oscar, do you want to do another drawing lesson? That was fun. This is an open invite if anybody wants to pop in. Anybody wants to pop in and talk comics with me? I guess I'll star it. There you go. So there you go. So I did not read these yet. These are back issues that I just got a couple of days ago. This is, This is going to drive me nuts because it's in the wrong order. This is Elektra number 3. Again, it looks like he's fighting Arcade, or she's fighting Arcade. I kind of like the Psy incorporated in the logo, but I don't know this run. I don't know this run. Okay, this is putting a red flag for me because this is issue 4 and she's still fighting Arcade. This to me screams decompression. And what is decompression? It's when you take one issue of story and expand it over 6 issues, because 6 issues is perfect for a trade paperback. That was like, as far as I know, and I'm probably wrong, that was like the Brian Michael Bendis way of making a comic. And it just, you know, like Stan Lee, you read an old Stan Lee comic, a lot happens in one issue, but these, see, I think this is the height of this decompression. So you're going to tell me Elektra is fighting Arcade for 4 issues, that's 4 issues worth of material? I don't know. And this is Jupiter 5, 6, 1, 3, and I know there's a 2 in here someplace, but I just read Jason Sandberg's Jupiter crowdfund, and I really enjoyed it. It's like imagining the Jack Kirby PC comics, like Captain Victory and all that stuff. It just imagine that stuff, but it escapes into the real world. So I enjoyed it. It's. I said to Jason, I said, I really liked your comic. It wasn't confusing except when it was supposed to be confusing. And he smiled. He thought that was funny. So this is his original run of Jupiter. So it intrigued me so much that I actually went and got the back issues. I mean, I remember seeing these in the store back in what year is this? 98. Okay, 98. I would have picked these up. Why didn't I pick them up? Maybe I didn't see them in the store. But look at these. It's just interesting. If anybody sees Jason Sandberg, tell him I picked up his back issues. Okay. This cover I love. Look at that cover. This is just so good. Number 6. Here comes Grumpy Boy. Don't call me a curmudgeon. Look at that. That is so good. Oh, you're finishing the last page. Cool. So Oscar, you have it confirmed by somebody other than me. Oscar's finished coloring the last page of the Mary Sue story. Then my process is, I don't know what you guys do, but what I do is so Oscar's going to finish the 15-page Mary Sue story. I take it back. What I do is then I print out my script, and I have the script right here, and I read along and see, because maybe something needs to be changed. Maybe the art needs clarification. Maybe Renzo did it better and it doesn't need all the words. And I go over the script. Then when I'm happy with that, I send it to Bill. Bill letters it. And then I'm going to hire a professional editor to read the whole comic and catch all the typos and make sure everything makes sense. Because a couple of errors went through on issue number 1. Decompression. Rat City is a perfect example. Every 3 issues would have been one original Spawn issue. Oh, Spawn just is such a slow burn. You know, is there anybody alive who continually bought Spawn from 1 to 300 without taking like a break and then buying back issues? Spawn is just so slow. Beep beep. Yeah, 353 Canada. What a number. What a number, huh? Is that a young John? Me? No, I was a happy kid. I was always a happy kid. Sure, but I need to check the hour every day. I like to go out at this hour, but an hour and a half, I have to go to bed. Okay. Me? Oh, that's you? You a curmudgeon kid? I like the visuals of Rat City. So Rat City, what? That's a story in Spawn? I'm not familiar with it. So by Blackjack Retrade. So this character died in like issue 3, and now he's back. And now he's betrayed. So it's got to be some sort of underhanded scheme. So this is the final issue of Scout, sitting on top of the world. Just beautiful art. Tim Truman art. You know, it's Cyberpunk Spawn. It's Spawn 20. I like the visuals of Rat City. Oh, okay. If somebody wants to post on Twitter and at me so I know what you're talking about. I literally have no idea what you're talking about. Here's more Scout. Look at this. Now, this is a 1985 version of Future hairstyle, and but I do. One of the things I really like about Scout is the realistic drawing of like Apache helicopters and tanks and machine guns and equipment and military equipment. That is my favorite part. I went to a comic store and I got a whole bunch of Supergirls in a back issue bin for like 50-60 cents each. 50 cents to $1 each. And I sat down to read them, and I'm like, I can't start on 7. So I went and I got number 1. So I guess I'm collecting Supergirl. Hey, Fabrizio, you want to come in, Fabrizio? Come on in. Let's talk comics. This is open invite. Most of these what you're reading and back issue bonanza stuff like that. It's just a guy talking about comic books. It's always more fun to talk about comics with somebody there. Fabrizio Aiello is the creator guru guy behind Horace H. Hoover, a comic that I talk ad nauseum about. So here you go. I never thought I'd collect early Supergirl comics, but I guess I do. So here's number 1. Here is, it's got a stamp on it, but number 15 of the Justice League. In the what you're reading, I just did issue 14. A star-studded spectacular challenge of the untouchable aliens. You can't touch them. See, John Johns can't touch them. He's touching Aquaman. That's not fair. And he's shaking the Flash like a rattle. Oh, wow! I didn't realize this. Green Arrow has the Atom on an arrow that predates the Ant-Man Hawkeye. And I don't know about you, but I always love these shorts, these cut shorts on Wonder Woman. They're like modern and old school at the same time. It's always better talking older comics. Come on in. Look at this. This is now officially my oldest Amazing Spider-Man 23. Look at that great cover. Holy moly. That is just awesome. Awesome, Steve Ditko. I just love the muscularity. For those of just look at this. I'm like in awe of this. It's just beautiful. Oh, here's some more Scout 21. Yeah, I just open up the box because it's awkward to open up a box on camera. So I just open up the box. I kind of forget, because what do? As I'm reading, I'm like, oh, I want to get that. I put it in my queue, and then if I have extra, once all the bills are paid and I got extra money at the end of the month, I'll put it in an order. So sometimes I forget what I even ordered, but I did remember I'm getting Scout Captain Savage and his Battlefield Raiders. It's funny because this was originally Captain Savage and his Leatherneck Raiders, and then it's his Battlefield, and I think next issue it just becomes Captain Savage. And Captain Savage had a big beard and like a skipper hat, and now he's looking more and more like Nick Fury. Just shows you that they're having problems selling the comic. Look at that guy's face. Oh yeah, okay. So it still says in his Battlefield Rangers over here. Savage's first mission. More Atari Force, Barreto and Lopez, Mike Barron and Ed Brett. Oh, we got Mike Barron's always here. Mike Barron. Who is the Dark Destroyer? You see, he's got the Atari logo on their chest. They all have the Atari logo. That's, as far as I know, that's the only thing that ties them to the Atari console. Okay, Oscar. See you later, buddy. So Captain Savage and his Battlefield Raiders, the Junk Heap Juggernauts, Doc Frankenstein, the Wachowski brothers, Scrolls, and this, I really like this, and then I forgot about it, and like 4 or 5 years later, I got, I think I got 1, 2, and then 4 or 5 years later, I got 3 and 5, and then I realized I missed number 4, but I fell out of love with it, but I got to say the art is outstanding. The art is outstanding, and I can't just have 1, 2, 3, 5. You know, I think it goes to 6. Help. This is Jupiter number 2. 453 in Canada. Such a bizarre number. Jupiter, help. Look at that. I don't know if I'd help that. Would you help that? I don't want to help that. Scout 20. Look at that guy. Look at these faces. They're so realistic. Bo's back. Black Cat Bone. These are just man's man comics is the only way to describe it. Like Apache is just murdering everybody, going across the country, like just like one of those just tough guys who just can't stop getting into trouble, and women are throwing themselves at him and everything. It's just like, you know, post-apocalyptic man's man comics is the only way to describe them. And here's more Atari Force, State of Siege. Look at these insect looking things. Like I said, this comic is a lot better than it had any right to be. Mike Barron and Eduardo Barreto. She-Cat number 5. This, for some reason, was on my want list for a long time, and then I got a notification that they got it. You know, these are AC Comics. They started doing reprints of like Bill Black is a old timer, you know, and he makes me look like a spring chicken. And he started his company reprinting and then doing new stories of characters that he grew up with. So like, you know, like what it's almost like public domain. Well, it is public domain characters now. And then his niche is sexy, big booby girls, you know, and that's FemForce. Like all out of all the comics he published, I think FemForce is the only one that's still going strong. You know, big old. It's no secret. People like big old booby girls. Scout. The final battle begins. Full length issue. That's good. I guess all the other issues were I think they had backups of other characters. Just cool. The gun. You could just feel the weight. I know. Dragonfly and Dragonfly Man. I talk about this a lot. I like the series a lot. It's Ahoy Comics. It's Tom Pyre and Jamal Igle does the normal series. Wrong Earth is the original series, and I just like it because it's Silver Age Batman. You know, hokey Adam West Batman switches places with like the Frank Miller Batman, you know, and it's just that they're on the wrong Earths, you know, and the sidekick who's used to everything being hokey and everything like that is dealing with a guy who's like breaking bones, and you know what I mean. And then the guy who's like all happy-go-lucky is just like, wait a minute, you're really killing people. Like villains don't really kill people, you know. It's a fun comic. Oh, here's Bob Hope, number 13. I've been looking for this for a long time. And here's a little crazy thing about me is when I buy new series, I have to get them in order. So I won't buy issue 14 until I get issue 13. So it's a way of limiting me for spending money. The only exception is if it's like a $500 comic and I happen to see it for $20, you know, like an offer you can't refuse kind of thing. But, you know, I've been looking for issue 13 of The Adventures of Bob Hope for like over a year. You know, it's funny because I see 14 is available and 50, but I can't. I got to get them in order. These are great. 52 pages of Bob Oscar's artwork. It's just, it's I don't know. I it's fun. You know, I don't say guilty pleasure anymore because either you like something or you don't like something. Ernest says, I have Atari Force 2 to 5. I need number 1. Like you, I can't read them. Yeah. It drives me nuts when I realize, when I realized I read that Doc Frankenstein missing an issue. I became a curmudgeon boy. So here is Sword and Sorcery number 5. This is the last issue of this Fafford and Grey Mouser. So I'll probably read that first. This is another thing I do. I put comics in a stack, and I have 2 stacks over here. 2 stacks. Okay, and 1 stack is all old issues, like back issues, and another stack is mostly crowdfunded comics with older stuff at the bottom. And I try to read the crowdfunded stuff first, but I will not start a new series until all the stuff that I've already begun, I've already finished reading. So this has to go on the top of the stack because this is number 5. I already read 1 to 4. Swamp Thing, I could read this because I accidentally read number 1 thinking I had all 10. So yes, I normally get 5 at a time. So this is, oh, Sword Sorcery 4. Okay, 4 and 5. Okay, I thought I had this already. Oh, I do. I accidentally bought 2 copies. Okay, oh well, no big deal. All right, so let's put these in order. Okay, so this is 10 issue series. This is Swamp Thing. So I've read every Swamp Thing, every comic of Swamp Thing up until this. So I even read number 1. And I really like the art, but my spidey sense is tingling. It's just something about it I think I'm not going to like. But that's not fair. That's not fair to the comic. So I'm going to give it a fair reading. But this cover is great. Oh, that cover is really cool. Swamp Thing and then Poison Ivy and then what, another version of Poison Ivy? I don't know who this is, but that looks cool. That looks really cool. I mean, the Poison Ivy Swamp Thing is a natural team up. And then what do we got here? A bomb with Swamp Thing in it. Oh, John McCrae is drawing it. Cool. Oh, that looks great. These covers are awesome. These covers are absolutely awesome. So there you go. So that's my back issue bonanza. I still have another box of brand new comics, like what I get every month. What I do is, this is slipping out of my hands, and I don't want it to knock over the camera. What I do is I order comics from a discount comic book service, and they come once a month, and then I open up the box and I do a video. So I'll do that video when I was getting. I don't want to do it today. This is enough material for one video. Hey, What Geeks Do Network. How's everybody? How are you? How's everyone? I'm good. I'm great. I can't complain about anything. Just a little tired, but it's just, I don't know if you guys work outside. I'm a construction worker. I'm outside all day long, and it just enervates you. The cold. I think that the heat is more dangerous. I mean, the heat caused my car accident, but I dread the cold more. The cold, it's just psychologically wears you down. It just sucks all the energy out of your body. Hey, Aldous, how you doing? Good evening. Good. If anybody wants to pop in and talk comics, because I'm done. This is my stack of comics that I just got. Back issue Bonanza. I think this is a nice stack. And man, this weekend I got a lot of work ahead of me as far as just organizing comics, and I want to get back to catalog that series of videos cataloging my collection. I need to get back. Currently driving, otherwise I would. Oh, okay, yeah, you don't want to end up like me. So there you go. Fabrizio, you still around? Anybody want to pop in, talk comics? No. All right. Well, I've been talking for about a half hour now. I'll just filibuster for a second or two, and then if nobody comments and nobody wants to pop in, then I'll shut it down. Oh, still drawing. Okay, Fabrizio's still drawing. That's important. So, what do I want to talk about? As we were talking earlier, some housekeeping for as far as long box comics. I still have a bunch of issues of Heroic Tales number 1. I overprinted, not for any bad reasons. I just want to be able to offer a catch-up tier when I do the campaign for issue number 2. Renzo will probably finish the cover to the Patriarch story tomorrow. He sent me a bunch of sketches, concept sketches, and I picked one, and that's what we're going with. And okay. We'll do the housekeeping. Forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but I'm excited. So 2025 project agenda 2025. What are I want to launch the campaign for issue number 2. The Oscar is coloring the last page for Mary Sue as we speak, and then I recheck the script, get it lettered, then I'll have it edited, and then I'll send it back to Bill for any updates, changes that need to be done. That's generally the way we work. And maybe I'll catch mistakes or whatever while looking at it, but whatever. That's just behind the scenes stuff. Renzo is working on the Patriarch story. Patriarch story is 22 pages. He's working on the cover and then the first 5 pages. Once he has the first 5 pages done, and I'm going to send 5 pages of colored artwork to Kyle Prometheus and 5 pages of colored artwork of the Mary Sue story, and he's going to make a trailer, and then boom, it's off to the races. As soon as I get that trailer, we'll launch the campaign for issue number 2. Issue number 2, I'm going to offer same thing. That stretch goals will be cards. I think there's going to be 16 cards, so a lot more, because there's a lot of characters introduced in issue number 2. Some of them just have cameos, but it's still, Renzo can't wait to draw the cards. So it's going to be a simple campaign. I'm going to have issue number 2. Issue number 2 is only going to have 2 versions, the Renzo version and then the Josh Howard, Jose Garcia version. And that's it. Just 2 covers. I'm keeping the expenses down. Letters page. If you want to be in the letters page, email me at heroicmails@yahoo.com. It's going to have some goofy ads, and that's about it. So that's issue number 2. Simultaneously, I'll be working on Eddie is Doomed with Tonic Ball and Oscar. We'll be working on that simultaneously, and then I don't know. I'm still up in the air about it's going to be called Message in a Bottle. It's going to be a Patriarch special, like a 10-page story about he gets notified that there's crop circles in his vineyard, and he deals with that, and then have a small comic, and then go to a local vineyard and have bottles of wine with my own label made up and sell the comic. Like, basically, I guess legally you buy the comic and then you get a free bottle of wine, and do that. That'll be like a super limited edition, unfortunately expensive thing to do. I haven't really gotten any feedback from that. If people want that idea, I'm going to talk with I found a place in California that'll do it, but that'll add the expense of shipping the bottles to New York, and then I got to ship them out to you. Like, they won't ship them individually from California. Like, everything will get lump sent to me. So I'm thinking about that. So that's my backup plan, the California one. I'd like to do local New York ones because it's local New York. But what do you guys think about that? A bottle of wine in a comic book, the story will be called Message in a Bottle. And that's that. So that's Patriarch. Then I have a mythological / historical comic that I would like to work on. Renzo is going to do a promo cover for it, a promo poster for it, just to drum up interest and see what people think, and then just work on that in the background. I'd like to talk more about it, but I can't. And then after that, I would like to do Heroic Tales 3, and then maybe the top 10, the origins of the top 10, the characters from Oscar. So the characters that Oscar designed so well for Eddie is Doomed. So that's my slate. Man, I can't wait. It's funny because I'm working on issue number 2, and I'm chomping at the bit to put out issue number 3. Like, it's just like the curse. Like I've read the script for issue number 2. I read it, you read it. And now I'm excited for the script for issue number 3. You know what I mean? I'm like a little kid. I just can't help but just be impatient for the next thing. I don't drink. I don't really drink that much either, but I'm trying to drum up interest and do something outside the box. And I know some people are gonna be like, it's too expensive, and I don't drink and I don't want it, but I'm a completionist. So I don't want to be like, well, then just, I don't know, maybe just buy the comic then. Maybe I'll have 2 tiers, the comic and then the comic and the wine, and then just the wine. Maybe that's it. I'm trying to make it a quick, simple tier. I don't know. What do you think about that? 10-page comic? I mean, a 10-page comic is almost as expensive as a 25-page comic. So I like to stay, but that would keep me from going. And we got greetings from Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay, so I don't really have that much else to say other than what's today? Today's Thursday. So let's see. I know I have something scheduled for tomorrow. Tomorrow I have Blackwell. Blackwell is let me I'm going into my email because I don't want to misrepresent him. Where is he? I forget. But I we scheduled something. He was oh, there he is. He does a role-playing game. So Friday we'll talk about Blackwall games. I'm saying it wrong. Saturday I have nothing scheduled. Sunday I have Sunday Comics. I don't know what I'm going to do for Sunday Comics yet. I got to pick something. Oh, Friday at 8:30, it's clobbering time, Magneto and the Metal Men. And I'm already telling you, next week it's Jonah Hex versus somebody. Maybe Jonah Hex versus the Punisher, because I've been reading a lot of Jonah Hex, and I want to talk about Jonah Hex. So there you go. Just do the labels. What? Just labels. Put them on your own wine glass. So put them on your own wine bottle. I don't know. I kind of like to have like my exclusive vintage. The place in California, it's like 100 bottle minimum, and that's like, then to get it shipped and everything like that. But like I said, that will be a true crowdfunder, meaning I'll build the campaign, and because doing the wine, I think it's like a 2-week turnaround where they could get the wine out of the barrels, put it in bottles, print up labels, and mail it to. So the comic will be so. Maybe I'll do the campaign like it's a true crowdfunder. You know what I mean? Like, see if people are interested. But I think I'm going to write the story and have it produced and use it somewhere along the line, because I do like the idea of the story of where I'm going. Crop circles. It's fun. All right. Alrighty. So again, now I'm filibustering with nothing else to say. So I guess this is a good point to end tonight's broadcast. So hope everybody stays safe. If you're in the freezing cold, stay warm. If you're in the burning California, be safe. If you're anywhere else, stay safe anyway. All right. I'll see you. Bye-bye.